This is practice exercise 6. We'll set this one up in Java today. You're welcome to use any language you would like. We want to write a program to find if a character is a vowel or a consonant. So given some character, we'll check if it's a vowel or consonant. So reminder, vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So we're not going to include Y as a part of this program. Y will be considered a consonant. All other characters are consonants. So input, for example, if X is C, the letter C, then it is a consonant, and we want that to be the output. If it's X, that's U, or if X is U, then we want it to be a vowel. So pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and set up our project. I'll do this in Java. So we will go into Control-Shift-P to pull up our commands up at the top, and I'll choose Maven New Project. I'm going to use the keyboard as much as I can for this. So you're welcome to follow along. I'll do this in Quick Start. I'll do this as a class library. You're welcome to write this out to the console if you'd like, but I'm going to do this as a class library so we can actually test everything. Latest version, com.lucenteriacademy. Let's say practice exercises. And this will be vowel or consonant. Let's copy that out, and I'll just use vowel or consonant for the artifact ID. Let's give this a location. So I'm going to put this into my C drive code, delete me. I'll just put it right there. Go ahead and trust and continue. I'm not worried about Git right now, so I'll just close that. Wait for this to pop up. Version number I don't care about for now. Confirm twice, hit enter, and then yes, we want to open that up. Perfect. Now that I've got that, I want to copy back the MD file so we have it available. There we go. All right, so here's our MD file. Here's our source. Let's just make sure everything is working. We'll need to see Java activating. I'm going to go and start getting into my test. Let's rename the test. This will be vowel or consonant test. I'm going to rename this class. And all right, so we've got our error up here. That is probably due to the POM versioning, and it is 1.7. So you can hit the errors and warnings down here. I have JRE 21. You may have a different version. I'm going to change mine to 21, so that's what I have on my machine. Save that, and when it asks to synchronize the class path configuration, we say yes. All right, so that's looking good. Now let's go ahead and format our test, Control-KF after we select everything. I'm also going to, you'll notice that there are spaces. I'm going to convert those to tabs. So Control-Shift-P, find Convert Indentation to Tabs, and I'm going to get rid of the comment lines. Excellent. So now let's start with our first test. I'm going to go ahead and change this to star so we pull in all the imports. I'm not sure which I'm going to need. So we'll just say vowel or consonant, example 1. And these are coming straight in from the code here. So we'll start off, we'll say character X equals C. And now we want our output. And there's a few different things that we could do here. I'm going to make this simple. I'm just going to return this as a string. So we want the string consonant. So we'll say string expected equals consonant. It would help if I could spell consonant. So now we need to write our actual code and then perform our assertions. So when we're in Java, we're going to need to put the method on a class, the function on a class. I'll do an instance class. You don't have to do that. You could certainly use static, but instance classes and instance methods generally give us more options for refactoring later on. So my recommendation is to start with that. So let's go ahead and create our object. What is this thing? So this is a thing. This is an object, a class that is going to look at the letters and determine if they're vowels or consonants. So it's a letter inspector, a letter investigator, or a character inspector. I like that. All right, so we'll say var inspector equals new character inspector. And now on our inspector, we'll say, let's see, string letter type equals inspector dot get letter type for X. So we'll give it X, it'll tell us the letter type, and then we're simply going to assert equals. We want our expected to equal the actual letter type. So there's our test. That looks pretty good, pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and copy and paste this for example 2. We'll rename the method, and then the letter here is U, and we want the output to be vowel. Everything else looks pretty good. Now we need to go ahead and create these, so we'll do this inside main. You can leave app.java if you would like. You can keep the main method if you want this to be a console application. I'm going to choose to do this as a class library. So again, I'll just do some reformatting here, get rid of the public static main. We're going to rename this. This is going to be our character inspector. And then we need a get letter type. I'll go ahead and let Visual Studio Code generate that method for me. That looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and add our methods line. Control-KF, and then convert to tabs. Excellent. I think we're all set up. Let's go ahead and run our test just to make sure that everything's working. All right, you're not in Python. Apparently my test runner is confused. It thinks it's still in Python. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if an update got pushed out and broke code. Undoubtedly, that will be fixed probably in the next day or two. Let me just make sure I've got... Yep, test runner for Java. It is installed. All right, I'm going to close and reopen Visual Studio Code. We'll see if that clears this out. All right, give that a moment. Java activating. Java ready. There's our test. Interesting. Somebody broke something. Come on, Microsoft. All right, so let's just go ahead and let me drag my face up. We can do this a different way. So we'll go down into Maven. We'll go down into the projects. We'll run Maven commands and we'll run test. So there's a few different ways to run the test. I was hoping to be able to use the test runner, but that's okay. We can run this way. So this will run the test. I am going to expect 2 errors, 2 failures. There are test failures. Test run 2, errors 2. That's exactly what we were expecting, where we have the 2 unsupported exceptions. So we are set up. You are ready to go. Here is the code for our test. So again, make sure you've got that in place. And then here's the code for the inspector. Your job now is to remove this exception. Obviously, we don't want an exception. Now you need to write code that will return the string, either consonant or vowel, to get the test to pass. Good luck.